Well, at least if that machine is not going to work, we can go for the consolation prize. This is the other thing that followed me home after the collaborative effort with Ross ACB. This is actually a Shuttle XPC. Let's see if we can get some focus. There we go. I have wanted one of these for a very, very long time. We can get an idea as to what it's got. Intel Pentium 4 CPU. There's our two power and reset button on the front, hard drive, and power LEDs. We got FireWire, USB, our audio, optical audio for some reason. We're not real sure why that would be the case, but it's got optical audio on the front. So if you ever wanted optical audio on the front, well, there you go. And you can see it's also got a floppy drive and an LG DVD burner. Right there. These things were built, I believe, as a configure-to-order or a built-to-order, you know, that kind of deal where you'd specify exactly what you wanted, and that would be that. You can also see on the top here, this is what was paid to get this machine originally. Now, there was a point in time when a Pentium 4 was actually worth that, especially an early one like this. But those times, unfortunately, have well and truly sailed. You can get Core 2 Duo-based machines and later Pentium 4 boxes that will run rings around this thing for about that same price, if not better. Anyway, if we go around to the side, you can see it's not in the best condition, but that's fine. There's also a dent in the top cover. If you can see it right there, which kind of sucks, but again, that is okay. I do have the antenna for this. I'll have to find it. It's an add-in wireless card. I might even just remove it because those tend not to work, I have found. It's got a video card here with VGA, which is curiously labeled CRT. and that's video output, which ought to actually be fairly useful. For something, anyway. There's our rear audio, just standard audio, PS2 keyboard and mouse, 2 more USB ports, Ethernet, 1394 on the back, another optical audio output, 2 serial ports, and an onboard VGA, and here is our power supply connection, and there is actually part of the CPU heatsink. Let's go ahead and pull the top cover off and have a look at what this thing offers. Now, doing so actually is fairly easy. It's just got a couple of thumb screws, as you can see there. There's one here, there's 3 of them, one up there, one down there. And if you're wondering what model this is, there's your tag. You can get some focus on that. SS51G, Shuttle XPC. Unlike a lot of those style cases, this one seems to actually come off with relative ease, although the rest of the case is certainly rather cramped. If you have a look in here, there's the hard drive. I already know what it is. It's a Maxter hard drive, which fills me with a whole lot of confidence, so I'm probably going to end up having to replace that fairly soon. You'll have probably already seen a talking point that I'll get into in a minute. But anyway, for the most part, this thing is definitely cramped in there very, very tightly. There's the CPU, heatsink. The fan is right there on the back, and it goes down into the nether regions of the computer, which you might be able to see. I'm not real sure on that. Way down in there, I think that's part of it. Over there, but I'm not sure. I think that might actually be one of the heat pipes. There's steel heat pipes for some reason. I don't know why they went with steel. A lot of these have junk capacitors, but I think these ones are okay, at least for now. There's the RAM slots. It's got 2 of those. I think they're DDR2. They might be DDR. It's got 2 gigs installed in it. It's got a Pentium 4 2.4 as well. And it did ship with that, so that wasn't an upgrade. I wonder what kind of motherboard this actually is. I see FS51 version 1.1 there. It's a D-Link wireless card, and this is actually an NVIDIA GeForce FX 5200. Here's a talking point. This was a common thing way back in the ancient years of computing. You see those capacitors? They're made to look like solid capacitors. But obviously, as you can see, well, they're not solid capacitors. I have no idea what they thought they would get out of that. And that means I have no idea how long this particular GPU is going to last. Hopefully it lasts for a good long while, because I really don't have a surplus of AGP video cards, which is what this is. It's AGP, and it's got a PCI slot right behind that. Anyway, I can't really think of a whole lot else to say about the system unit itself. It's an 80 gigabyte hard drive, which was rather late in the life of Maxter, if I remember correctly. And I think that's pretty much all that I really need to say. For whatever reason, there's a connection here that's unused, the Molex connection. Not that it would ever see any use in this machine. I think it's actually probably got something to do with some other expansions that this thing doesn't have. This is a folded up cable here. This folded up cable is actually for the floppy drive, if I believe. If I do remember correctly. And I think there should be one for... The hard drive cable's not folded up. The hard drive cable is back there. Actually, it might be. You know what? That might be... Yeah, that's the hard drive cable that is folded up like that. So the hard drive cable's folded up and the floppy cable's not. So I had that backwards. Anyway, let's go ahead and put the case back on and fire this up. Now, I do know that this one worked. So if it doesn't work now, well, I don't know what I'm going to do. Okay. Fire it up. Man, that thing's loud. Here we go. It does actually work. Intel Pentium 4 2.4. Cannot get the thing to get into any better focus. I wonder if that's maybe my viewfinder. But anyway, Cmos checksum error. I will need to replace the Cmos battery, it looks like. And it's telling me that my CPU has been changed, which is not really true. So we'll go into setup. Have a look at the setup program. Looks like another one of these award by us things. Probably shouldn't have put the tripod away if I knew I was going to probably need it. So we'll go in here. This is obviously not correct. Okay, that's not how you change that value, is it? Oh, it's working with the number pad, even though the number pad's off. Not really sure how that works. We are the 26th, and it is, of course, 2017. It's Tuesday. We are at 3 o'clock. Good enough. There you can see the Maxter hard drive. There's our CD-ROM. Our floppy drive should be configured correctly. Video is EGA VGA. Out. Halt on everything. Looks good to me. And there's our 2 gigs of RAM. Go through the advanced features. I don't believe there would be any of those that I really need to care about. Unless I want to boot it up with a CD-ROM, which I might actually do. Set that to CD-ROM. That's one of the things I always thought was weird about these, is you can set 2 of them. Should be the hard drive. Boot other device. I don't believe there's anything else in here that I really need to. I usually don't. A lot of people say that's not really useful, but I'll turn it on. Everything else should be okay. Advanced chipset features. DRAM control. We could change the cast lanes. I wonder if we could do some overclocking with this. Let's see why not. Integrated peripherals. Let's see. I don't believe there's... Oh, it's on an SIS chipset. That ought to be fun. Good thing I don't intend on trying any Linux distributions on this, because as far as I remember, Linux does not play very nice with SIS chipsets. I don't believe there's anything in there I need to change. Don't think there's anything in there. PC health, there we can see all of our voltages, which look to be okay. 1.5 for those. That one's a little low. 3.3 is a little low. The 12 is a little low. For some reason it's got a -12. Usually they don't have a -12 on ATX power supplies. That is weird. The battery is showing up as a 3.23. Those are what? I think those are actually... I don't remember what voltage those batteries are supposed to be. Those CR2032s. For some reason it's showing up fan 3. Even though there's... Actually, I think there's only one fan in the system. That's kind of amusing. There's two fans in the system. I apologize. There's one for the CPU, and then there's another one for the power supply. So it's not picking up, I guess, on the power supply fan, which makes sense. Frequency and voltage control. Yeah, I believe that will allow us to do a little bit of overclocking if we really wanted to. But I don't think you really want to do overclocking on a Pentium 4. Let's get realistic here. We are going to save and exit. And we'll get into Windows XP, which is what this is running. See the fan slow down. And here we go. Realtek boot agent. And CD, now we are going to the hard drive. It's just a standard Windows XP installation. Now it's making a sound not unlike a pool, as it's thinking. We were having issues when we had this thing set up at Ross's place with the, oh wow. Okay, well that's not the correct resolution for this, but anyway. We were having issues with it. The display picture output kept turning blue. And this, I guess, proves that the VGA cable in question, which is what he figured, 1280 by 768. That's an odd resolution. I hope that doesn't crash it. There we go. That's better. Although it's still halfway off the screen now. That should have been the auto adjust button. Where's the auto adjust button? I think it's this one actually. There we go. So we'll auto adjust on that. And we'll have a look at our specifications. And the properties. So we can see here that we got a Pentium 4 2.4 with 2 gigs of RAM. And if we go further into our hardware specifications here, you can see it's not seeing that would be the wireless card as well as the audio, which kind of sucks actually. I'd like to test out the audio. You can see a Maxter 6YO80L0 80GB hard drive. There's our NVIDIA GeForce FX 5200. There's our Hitachi LG optical drive. And it sees that, but we don't have our audio. So I might actually see if I can find drivers and install drivers on this, although I don't know if I care enough, because I might not actually end up keeping this Windows XP installation. I'm not real sure. I might keep it anyway. You know, do a little bit of cleaning, because I trust that this is probably a relatively clean installation, so. In fact, there really isn't anything on it at all. Actually, there is nothing on it at all. So, I guess there's that. Let me get an Ethernet cable. Let's hook this thing up to the network. Okay, so now we're at a Google homepage. So the first thing we are going to do is look for drivers. Alright. Oh, look at this. Global.shuttle.com. We've got... Well, that's the EU website. I might check that out. I don't know if this is a version 2 or version 1. I think it's a version 1. So we'll go to the global site first. I know that Ross watches my videos and gets a kick out of this every time I say this, but it looks like there is an updated BIOS for this machine, so we're going to download that. Okay. Now we'll go for drivers. Select your operating system, Windows XP. audio. Cool. Let's download all the drivers. We don't need the VGA. What's unknown on this? Oh, it's the D-Link network card and the audio. So I'm going to download from here the audio, if that'll work. Beginning FTP transaction, it says. I hope it's still on their site. Because I tell you what, it would really suck if it was not on their site. Well, that sucks. Okay, so that isn't going to work. How about their HTTP site? There we go. Save that to our downloads. So we'll at least get our audio working. I don't believe I'm going to be able to get the wireless working under Windows XP, because usually that doesn't work. I'd have to figure out what that card is, and I don't remember off the top of my head. I know it's a D-Link card, but that's not really useful because D-Link made several network cards. This is going to turn into quite the video. All I want to do is get some audio out of it so I can watch a YouTube video. That's pretty much it. Okay, so we'll open our containing folder. We'll extract all our items. Sure, extract there, that's perfectly okay. Show the extracted files, audio. Do we have an installer? Setup. Advance AC97. Go for next. Okay, now we got that going. ALC UPD. I hope this works. I really do. Not really sure what it's doing. Hasn't really done much. The hard drive light is going nuts over here, though. Here we go. That's doing something. Alright, reboot the computer. Yes. Save and quit. And now it'll reboot. I'm going to check the BIOS revision on this thing while I'm at it. Okay, that's some real useful general help there. So I don't know what revision of the BIOS this thing is running right now, because it won't tell me. So we'll just exit out of that and let it start up again. I haven't made a computer video this long in a very long time, but anyway, it's always good for experimentation. Looks like Realtek audio, which isn't a surprise, but we do actually have sound. So, on that note, I'm going to go get some speakers, which I've got up here, very handily. Probably going to knock over everything that I've got on this rack in the process of grabbing the speaker, but I didn't, which is amazing. And we'll get our cardboard speakers, lovely things they are. I actually think I probably should plug in some amplified speakers, but I don't have that luxury right now, so these will have to do. And I hope they will, because I don't have anything better on hand. I don't have any powered speakers. Actually, I don't have any at all. Probably should get some of those. You know, go to the thrift store, pick some up for real cheap, and I can't even remember which one is which. I believe that the output is blue. I suppose we'll find out in a minute if we even get anything out of the speakers at all. Okay, there's nothing coming out of the speakers, so we'll try the green one. Usually it's the middle one. I don't know why it wasn't the middle. Here we go. I don't know if the camera can pick that up over the fan noise, but I can hear it. So it's good enough for me. Let's see. Actually, hold on. Let's go into this. Sound Manager. Auto gain control, equalizer, speaker configuration. Looks like that's okay. Let's go for a speaker test. Well, it does work. You won't hear any stereo, but because this only has a mono microphone, but it will work, so that's cool. Alright, let's go try and watch a YouTube video. I don't know about you, but I am really not a fan of YouTube's new Polymer user interface, or whatever they're calling it at this particular minute. It takes forever to load. I'm not even really sure why. This is UXW Bill's channel, just handy, because I'm sure you'd rather watch his videos than my garbage. Although I could probably use one of my own videos to do this kind of a test. So we're just going to grab a video, and we'll play it, and just see what happens at 360p, because I'm really curious.
Hello there, everyone. I'm UXW Bill, and today I present for your consideration
you know
what I
what?
sincerely hope will be an interesting and perhaps even informative video about remote keyless entry fobs. You see, a couple weeks ago, Naughty Truck flashed up
That doesn't work very well.
in the Instrument Panel Information Center saying...
Wow, it's not even going to let me stop the video, is it?
Key fob 1's battery was low. I'll get it right eventually.
Shush. There we go. So, I suppose you could probably get away, or if you can, like, stand that, you might be able to turn autoplay off. You stinker. I suppose if you can handle this light chopping in audio, you'd probably be okay. If you installed an ad blocker, you'd probably be okay. Maybe I should install an ad blocker and see. You know what? Yeah, let's install an ad blocker and see if we can get any better. Oh, wait a minute. Let's go over to our add-ons manager, and I think we're going to find another problem, if I remember correctly. Let's go over to extensions, search for AdBlock Plus. And I think, if I remember right, we will see that the one that we want, and again, I apologize if this is out of focus, but there really isn't anything I can do about it. The only thing I can do with the camera just makes it worse. Probably could have used a better camera, but we'll see that AdBlock Plus does not show up. Fortunately, there is a solution to the problem. Go to my website. I'm not going to try and type the whole URL because I don't even remember what it is. And you go under the random page, random button, making SeaMonkey work better. You can see that we could choose between AdBlock Plus or uBlock Origin, but there are XPI files hosted on my website. That is not in focus, which kind of sucks. So I can't get that in focus. Anyway. So, AdBlock Plus or uBlock Origin. I'm going to go for AdBlock Plus. This is a zip file. So we will download. It's just an XPI file, so there's not really a whole lot. So save it. Go over here. We'll go back to where we were before. And there are instructions on how to do this. And we are going to go ahead, we'll just go ahead, save and close. Because I'm not real sure what would happen if we tried to load an extension while it is open. I'm sure that it would go over real well. So that's our file, which is not really well named, it's just a whole bunch of characters. And we will go to our application data, Mozilla. I don't remember if it needs to go into the extensions folder under SeaMonkey Profiles here, and I don't remember. I'm going to put it under extensions first. Probably could have read the website and figured it out. In fact, I probably should even remember that because I wrote the web page. So we'll move that in there. We'll leave it open. That's what we'll do. Just in case that's not the correct place to put it. So go to CMonkey once again. And it has completely ignored us. That's lovely. Unless it has not. No, it looks like we have been completely ignored.
Hello there, everyone.
And UXW Bill is now talking once again.
For your consideration, what I sincerely...
That is the result. That is favorable, and I believe that UXW Bill is going to start talking again, so we're going to go ahead and pull out the speakers. Looks like I was correct. So, it's going to ask us, where I had to put it was, I had to put it under that gibberishly named profiles folder in the CMonkey thing here. I had to make a folder called extensions and put it in there. And now we can allow this installation and continue. And now we get Adbot Plus, which is awesome. So that's how you get around all that malarkey. And if the browser will let us, which now it stopped responding, which is real glorious because I'm trying to record a video here. And it's already up at about 30 minutes. Actually, it is up at 30 minutes right now. We'll get out of this, if it will let me. We'll go back to here. We'll refresh the page. And we will plug our speakers back in and listen to UXW Bill talk about GM keyless entry fobs.
Hello there, everyone. I'm UXW Bill, and today I present for your consideration what I sincerely hope will be an interesting and perhaps even informative video about remote keyless entry fobs. You see, a couple weeks ago, Naughty Truck flashed up a message in the Instrument
that's rather
Information
annoying.
Center saying that key fob...
Alright, so we'll unplug that, and the thing I'm going to do right now, I'm going to disable this polymer garbage, because I have a strong feeling that part of the issue has got something to do with that. So we're going to add disable underscore polymer equals true to the URL, hit enter, and hopefully we will get a result that is a lot more favorable. If it doesn't completely blow up in my face. Which hopefully it doesn't do, because I actually do like this computer.
Hello there, everyone. I'm UXW Bill, and today I present for your consideration what I sincerely hope will be an interesting and perhaps even informative video about remote keyless entry fobs. You see, a couple weeks ago,
so obviously that is not really a whole lot better. So 360p YouTube is not the most doable thing in the world.
Hello there, everyone. I'm UXW Bill, and today I present for your consideration what I sincerely hope will be an interesting and perhaps even informative video about remote keyless entry fobs. You see, a couple weeks ago, Naughty Truck...
Okay, so that is definitely working quite a fair bit better. Still not perfect. Now let's destroy the crap out of this thing, because this is a CP666 video, and there is nothing that I enjoy doing more than watching computers suffer through things that they really frankly should not be doing. 1080p. How bad could that possibly be on a Pentium 4? Let's find out. Does it even play?
Hello there, everyone. I'm UXW Bill, and today I present for your consideration what I sincerely hope will be an interesting and perhaps even informative video about remote keyless entry fobs. You see, a couple weeks ago, Naughty Truck flashed up a message in the instrument panel info.
Well, if you like audio, that's certainly what you should really go for, but otherwise, well, that doesn't work too well. And if we go down here to the task manager, we'll probably find that we are using 100% of the CPU, all with CMonkey. Interestingly, not the plugin container. Probably because it's HTML5 and not Flash Player. So, I guess there we have that. There's not really much else I can think of to demonstrate. I think at this point it's probably safe to bet that we should close that. We can close that too. And now we can do everybody's favorite thing, and that is to update the BIOS. Oh boy. You mean to tell me I'm going to have to find my own flashing tool? Yeah, forget that. AWD flash. Works under DOS only. Yep, I don't think I'm going to bother updating the BIOS on this one, because I don't want to brick it. So, I've never bricked a computer yet, and I certainly do not want to brick this one. As far as plans go, actually, I think I have decided that I'm probably not going to be keeping Windows XP on this. I may run Windows 7. And my reason for doing so is actually because I want to make use of the S-Video output on the computer to run the WeatherStar 4000 emulator. And that is assuming that it is going to work, because for whatever reason, and I don't really know what I should attribute this to other than just pure computer, just computers being computers, but I cannot get the WeatherStar 4000 emulator to work full screen. I can get it to work, but I can't get it to go full screen on a television output on anything I've tried. And that's even if it runs at all. So anyway, I think that is what we are going to do with this, but for now anyway, we are going to go ahead and shut it down because this video is now up past 36 minutes. Thank you for watching. If you have any comments, feel free to leave them down below. And this is CP666 signing off. Out. See you next time. Till then. I think I unplugged the speakers. Yes, I unplugged the speakers. Oh, I almost forgot. Went ahead into the BIOS setup once again, and I enabled something that I'm sure everybody is going to like. It probably won't work because it's on camera. I don't know if you heard that. That is the best part of a seek test ever. Anybody that disagrees with me is wrong. Okay, the optical drive does work. We're going to go into HDAT2 and just check out the health of the hard drive, because I can. So you can see there's the device. Oh, look at this. Red exclamation point for a smart error. What have we got here? 3 reallocated sectors. Holy crap. Look at that power on time. I think that's the most power on time a Maxter hard drive in the history of ever has ever got. Most of them died off pretty early. These Diamond Crash drives are not all that great. Okay, looks like we've got a couple of uncorrectable errors, which is kind of bad. Out of track errors, which is also kind of bad. But there are no pending sectors that are awaiting reallocation, which is good. That is what I like to see. And it looks like everything else is pretty well okay. Although for some odd reason this is... Oh, 5. I thought it was 0. But I don't see anything about this that really fills me with a whole lot of disconfidence. So I think it will be okay to leave that drive in there. Should be just fine. And one more thing, we can see the system is powered down, and yet the keyboard is receiving power from the 5-volt standby. A lot of motherboards back in this time supported that. I'm not sure if that, some of them were, it was an option configurable in the BIOS, others it was a jumper on the motherboard. I don't really know what this one is, and I'm not really willing to wade through all of the mess that is the system chassis to find out. Alright, I think this video is now officially done. I hope it is. with 384 megs of RAM.